Hello, divine beings. It's the Apollo Chi they them pronouns. Welcome to another episode of The Other Side podcast. And as always, I'm going to open up this space, setting the intention that I'm a clear channel of a pure source energy today. That as I channel that which is of the highest love and light, the highest truth and wisdom, rooted in the highest good of all. For the clarity, guidance, edutainment for the collective. I thank my spiritual team for helping and assisting me in staying in energetic integrity and sovereignty as I channel these messages to help my channels remain clear and pure. Isa. So this topic is one that I'm a little nervous actually to talk about. And there really is nothing for me to be nervous about. It's just, it's a little taboo-boo. It's a little taboo-boo. I am still going to talk about it though. Because we got to talk about the things that we in our society don't want to talk about. Otherwise, they're just going to remain hidden. And we cannot progress and evolve spiritually and otherwise until we look at our shadows and our collective shadows and see those things in the dark, shine light on them, integrate what is needed and necessary, transmute what is not, and then ascend and expand individually and thus collectively. So, today's topic is around sex and energy from a spiritual perspective. Breaking it down for y'all regarding what's happening. There's a lot of misconception in the world around the interplay between sex and energy. And so I wanted to shine some light on that as someone who has had a very intimate journey with sex and also abstaining from sex and learned the ins and outs of the energetics. Let's call it the energetics of sex. How about that? Okay. So I'm going to be channeling from pure source at certain points and also just sharing my own story and experience. And I'll start with that actually. So before I became really spiritual, I like to say I was godless. I had left the Catholic Church after my first relationship. Ooh, I'm already releasing energy. And give me a second, y'all. And I'm back. Okay. So as I was channeling, I was feeling some tightness in my throat. It's been a while since I have channeled, and I stopped because of fear regarding the spiritual attacks and the black magic I was experiencing. And so there was some energies I needed to clear out because, some energies are still trying to not get me to speak. But let me tell you, all it did was reflect within me what needed to be shifted. And so I cleared all that out and we are Gucci ready to go. Okay. So back to the topic. Sometimes we got to do work in real time, y'all. Real time. Sex and energy. So I left the Catholic Church around I was 20. That was my first relationship. Serious was 20. And I left the Catholic Church because I had a lot of guilt around sex, y'all. And I started to intentionally have sex around 21. Although that initial time was coerced and manipulated by the individual. So there was a lot of angst around physical relationships and sexual encounters. But after leaving that first relationship, I wanted to explore more and more of my sexuality. And I just felt that I was not straight. And so I ending up, I'm going back, y'all. It's been a while. Oh, yes. I wanted to explore my sexuality and do some things outside of that relationship. And so I started to see women, and you know what? Guess what happened when I start to venture out, y'all? I ended up getting, I think it was herpes complex too, which I'm fully, completely healed of, which in the medical world is unheard of, but I'm healed of it. And it caused me so much shame that I stopped doing anything. And then I ended up dating again in a very messy turn of events while still being connected with this past person that I was seeing. It was a very toxic and honestly abusive codependent relationship. And ended up polyamorous setup. And, you know, I'm not, this is not about polyamory. Many people don't know how to do it right because they don't have integrity and they don't know how to communicate. Let's just put it at that. And so I was seeing a lot of people. I was in the Tinder streets, y'all. I was very much so tenderizing myself. And I think within like a year or 2 years in being in that relationship, I honestly, I felt like I was having a lot of sex. But to be real, and that's not no comparison, you know, what's a lot for one person isn't a lot to the other. And I'm not going to name no numbers, but it was a lot for me as someone who grew up in the Catholic Church, hearing how much my virginity was tied to my worth and had no one, you know, I had to stay pure in that way for my husband. So it was a lot for me. But very quickly, I was guided out of that relationship. That was my ex-fiance, and was free and open again to explore, but wasn't comfortable doing that. And so I had a third relationship, which didn't last that long, and the sex didn't last either. And so that's all to say, y'all. My dating and sexual history is consensually, because I did experience sexual abuse and I was raped many times as a child. Is short consensually. It's literally in the span of, let's say, 2014 to 2020. 6 years. Yes. Okay. 6 years. And it's actually more like 5 years. So let's say 5 years of sexual history consensually. And when I got put on timeout by Source, I was told to stop being in relationships and to stop having sex. And that was really hard for me because I was really in the tenderizing streets. I was living my best explorative life. And I didn't really enjoy it. Let's be real. I didn't really enjoy it. I'm glad I had the experience though. So what does all this have to do with energetics? So in the process of committing myself to the spiritual journey and listening to my intuition and spiritual guidance, I stopped dating and I stopped seeing people since 2020. And so it's been 4 years since I've been in a relationship or dated or had sex outside of myself. Even then, there were many times in the 4 years, stretches of times where I did not even masturbate. So I was very much celibate and single for these past 4 years and learned a lot in the process of being and doing so about the interplay between sex and energy. Now, in the wider world, I've listened to some sex therapists who don't acknowledge the energetics of sex. I think there's a lot of misconception in the wider world that outside of STDs and your emotional repercussions, there is no repercussion to, or consequences to having sex, and that's just not true. We are energetic beings. And anything and everything we come in contact with impacts and can imprint on our energy bodies. And so every single person that you have had energetic intercourse with, because that sex is an energy, it's an act of one of the most powerful acts of creation. There is a reason why your sacral chakra is in the areas of creation, the creation of life, your pelvis. And so your sacral chakra is the chakra of creation, of creativity, of emotion, of water. That is the element associated with it. And so when you are and have engaged in sex or you're in a relationship with someone, each time you do that, you are exchanging potent, creative energy. You're intermingling it with that person, and the more powerful the experience is, and or the higher the number of contact experiences with an individual person, means that your bond with that person is strengthened. You're literally creating an energetic bond, which is called a chord, to that individual because of the act of sex. You add in feelings of love and all these other things, and you know that chord's strong. 12:21 on the timer. So this is very enlightening to someone to understand the separation between themselves in partnership and the difference between partnership and the individual. And so when you are combining energies in that way with another human being, you are creating this strong bond and link to your sacral, to that other individual. And so when I was called to be celibate, it was so that I could be in my own energy and I could begin to release the energetic ties and cords that I had created in my lifetime by being in the tenderizing streets. And I say that, and I wasn't, no, I'm not even going to do that. I'm about to say, I wasn't even that promiscuous, but like, whatever, who cares? Promiscuous to one is not promiscuous to other. And seeing the way that I was using sex as a coping mechanism, as a way of relating to others. And so this led to me understanding that that ex-fiance I was in a relationship with, that wasn't love on their side. It was definitely rooted in lust and sex. And while I do love them unconditionally as a human, it was just a lot of lust, a lot of physical attraction, a lot of chemical attraction. And so each time you engage sexually with another person, and now I'm channeling source, you are attuning your energy field to their own, providing, which creates a biochemical reaction every time you come in contact with them. So, for example, let's say you have a strong attraction to a person and you're engaging in sex with them. You're creating that energetic tie while simultaneously training your biology and chemistry to associate that person with X feeling that you may be feeling: belonging, care, nurturing. And so it goes deeper than just our energy, right? Because our energy is the foundation of who we are. Our energy impacts our chemistry, which impacts our biology, which impacts our physiology and our neurology. It all is intertwined. They're not separate. We are complex as humans in these vessels of ours. And so, in the process of being celibate and single, I had to disentangle myself energetically from all those I had engaged in sexually, especially those with repeated encounters and those where the emotions of unconditional love were tied in. And so, I say that to say that this is to keep in mind that if you are spiritually inclined, if you are on a spiritual ascension journey, or you're interested in spiritual development, whatever it may be, or just here to listen to me talk, because I help you fall asleep and you feel more calm and peace listening to me, whatever it may be. This is information for you to know that your energy, your sacral sexual energy is sacred. And when I say sacral sexual, I want to clarify that because people often associate sacral energy with sex. And it isn't only about sex, it is creation. And so I've had many people who meet me and see some of the ways I express myself, like the way that I enjoy wearing lingerie and being sensual and sexy in that sense. Even though I don't see it as sexy, I see it as me expressing an aspect of myself, the dark feminine aspect of myself, fully. And it's very pure. It's coming from a pure source place. It's never like, I want you to look at me and jack off or, masturbate. It's never that. But one may see it and see the ways in which I dress and adorn my body as wanting to be seductive or sexy. But it has never been that. It's an act of pure creation, a channeling of the Kundalini energy in me, of that dark feminine goddess energy in me. And so they are not the same. And I don't say that to explain myself because I need no explanation, but to give a different perspective of what it means and how expressing one's sexual, let's say expressing one's sacral energy can be pure, but also seen as the external world and misinterpreted as something other than that. So sacral energy does not have to mean sex. It is an energy of creation. It is energy we use to spark our source is showing me like a snake. It is literally the energy of the snake. Transformation, birth and rebirth, birth and rebirth, birth and death, especially for those who have wombs. It is the activating force for those who may have a penis, that activating force, that spark of life. And so anytime you engage and use this energy, you are imprinting it with your essence. And so in relationship, that means you are imprinting your energy to another human being. And so you have energetic imprints of all the past lovers. Unless you do the work to cut the cords and cleanse your energy, those energetic imprints remain. It is also why, you may leave a relationship, and if there was a strong sexual charge, that strong sacral undercurrent, it's hard to disentangle your thoughts, your emotions, your desires from that individual, even if you've been apart, even if you break up. And you wonder why you keep being pulled to that person. Well, because you have a strong imprint. And they got a strong imprint on you, and you got some strong cords right there between each other that need to be dealt with. Source, is there anything else about sex and energy and relationship that this collective would be, okay, so it's this is about demons. Like I said, you're sharing energy with a person. So when you create a tie, a cord to them, you are merging energies. You're sharing energies between that cord you share. Depending on how strong that cord is or how short it is, that means that your energies can then become intermingled. So their demons become your demons. Their issues become your issues. Anything that they got going on with them becomes your own because you're sharing a cord. It is why it's very important that you see your sacral energy as sacred, knowing that you are sharing it with another being. And as you share it with another being, you're creating that tie and connection. Unless you do the spiritual, unless you do the energy work to, keep yourself in your energetic sovereignty. Is there anything else? So we're saying last thing is the power of love. Love amplifies. Love never dies. And so and I'll bring this back to myself. When I left my engagement, I had went to a spiritualist because I was trying to figure out what happened. Why did this end? How could this have ended? This person was my person and we were supposed to be together for the end of the world type of thing. I was distraught, y'all. Distraught. On the floor, crying on the bathroom, sobbing my eyes out. Distraught. It was terrible, terrible time in my life. But I made it through. Look at me. Look at you. You can too. And I went to a spiritualist. This is the first time I went to a spiritualist because I needed some answers. I needed guidance and I knew the church wasn't going to do it. So I had some options and I ended up going to a woman named Angelina, and I knew angel sent. Source sent her to me because her name was Angelina. And she was Greek. And so, and the Greek thing is about my higher self is Apollo. And I have other templates and things that I work through and all that. But my higher self is the god Apollo. So I am Apollo. Let's put it like that, because I am my higher self. I went to this spiritualist and I was like, I need help because I went, I didn't even say anything, honestly. She sat down, she pulled out some cards and she was like, can I read your energy? And I was like, yes, I don't know how this works, but okay. And then she sat down, put out these cards and she told me my life. And I was just like, how, Sway? How? I don't understand how, what is this? How does this work? And I got obsessed and here I am. I went down the rabbit hole because I needed to figure out how it worked. How are you able to just pull some cards and tell me my life? And so I ended up doing some healings with her. We did some sound healings, which, oh my gosh, as someone who does quantum sound alchemy, that is my term that I am in the process of trademarking. No, it's actually copywriting. Sorry, not trademarking. FYI. And now that I do quantum sound alchemy. And she did some sound healing on me to help remove those cords from me and my ex. I didn't know what she was doing. All I knew is that at the end of it, I felt better. So I share that story to tell y'all that I like this is personal. All I'm sharing with you is because I had to experience it and live through it. And she mentioned, this person is a soulmate and all of that, yada, yada. But, they're not really your person. So I know you really want them to be, but and I had to, I went through that whole process of being like, oh, Mo, are you? Oh, no, that's my person. And then actually being like, no, actually, with some healing and some transmuting, and no, that's not my person. Yeah, that's no way. I deserve better. And so that's all I say, y'all, that It's ill easy to do this in terms of these chords and removing the energetic imprints, and I'm going to do it now. I'm going to help you because I love you, and everyone deserves to be in their own energy. We are meant to be energetically sovereign beings until the time comes when you're meant to merge with the person that is your true divine counterpart. The true divine counterpart. Okay? And that's different. You're still two individuals merging energies, creating a third entity, which is the divine sacred union and marriage. Okay? That's a very different aspect. So when it comes to sexual energy, know that you carry with you, unless you do the energy work, all the energetic imprints and cords of your past sexual lovers. And they can impact you because imagine all the people you've ever slept with having some cord to you out there in the world, living their life, impacting you. Can you think of those people? I know, right? That's right. It's crazy. We got to do something about it, right? So there's many meditations about how to cut cords. And I'm going to teach you how to do it for yourself. And I'm going to also assist you in doing it in the quantum field. Because sometimes when you're learning these processes, it takes some time you have to do it right. And there's the right way is making sure you're doing it with intention in a way that works for you. So you can do a ritual. If you're a ritual person, if you're a spell person, if you like to cast spells, you can do a ritual. If you're more into visualization, you can do a meditation. If you are more into, I just want to get to the nitty gritties, cut these cords, okay. We can do a quantum cord cutting. So give me a second now while I'm gonna ask Source what is the best. Just cut the cords. All right, y'all. If you so choose to receive this, open in your heart and just say yes. And what I'm going to do is literally upload the cord cutting light codes to this audio right now. And I want you to hold the person that you want the cords cut in your mind as I do the quantum sound alchemy and surgery. I'm going to upload those cords. I'm not cutting them for you. You're going to imagine the person, and I'm going to guide you to do it yourself. So that way you can come back to this and continue to do it if there's many cords. If you want, you can just imagine all of the people and just say in your heart, I want all the cords cut. Okay? Sometimes you want to do it multiple times with the knowing that some cords, they're not stubborn or resistant. They're thicker. And so if you ever cut like a string, and you can cut like a thin string and it cuts easily, or you can cut like a rope and it's going to take some time. You got to kind of like cut multiple times to really get to get through the thickness of the cord, is what I'll say. So open your heart and say yes in your heart. And then this time, I want you to take 3 deep breaths for me. Letting out with a sigh. Another one. Beautiful. Bringing you to a place of peace, greater calm, greater relaxation in your body, attuning that nervous system to peace and calm and relaxation, down regulating into your body and self. I invite you now to close your eyes. And I want you to think of, visualize, hold in your heart all of the individuals who you want these cords cut regarding these energetic imprints of past lovers. And I will channel light codes to help remove the energetic imprints and cut the cords. Just continue to have it in mind. Yomono ea, 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 ayo anaya. Aye no ya nakaye na tie yo lo aye no tie ana ye aye na tie oh no aye na tie yo no aye na tie kaye na kaye no wala de ya ki yo omo no Kia mono wa na ya la na tie ya ana kie ya ala ya na kie. Come on, keep holding them in mind, y'all. Kia ya na tie yo loe ya kia ala tie ya na kaye iye yo koe ya na tie yo koe iye yo ya na tie ya kaye ana tie yo kono ya akaye ala kaye na kaye ye kono ya na tie ya a I ana tie yo ono ya ale ya kie o yo ya la tie yo koe ya aye. Dragons are coming in. Kia natia ya kale of the highest light. Kia na aye anatia ya. And love to burn. Kia natia ya kaya these cords. Kia mono ya natia ya kaya ka ana aye la aye iya kolo ya natia ya. Iyo lo ya ana kaya aye. If you're experiencing activation in your heart, I'd like to invite you to hold your right hand over your heart space and give yourself some circles in your heart space. Kia natia yala aye aye anatie. As this energy is coming up, kia monoe anatie yakaye alaye kia ana. What we're going to do is transmute this kia natia ya into unconditional self-love and acceptance. Kia natia yala aye ala yo. Okay. So the chords have been cut, burned by the dragons. Bye-bye. And that energetic imprint, those sexual energetic imprints have been released. Transmuted, actually. You may be feeling more heat. Upper right back. Yeah, that's the back of your heart chakra, which represents your past and everything that has come. So if you're feeling that, that means it's clearing out the past. It's okay. It's okay. Take a deep breath. Release it. This is just the energy moving through you. Alrighty, y'all. So, yeah, I need to address that. So there's a limiting belief from the collective. That's the idea that when you cut cords, they can come back. That is not true. What happens is the magnetism is still there, which is attracting them. that person back. And so that magnetism was released. It was transmuted. It's not going to be there. This is permanent. This person's energetic imprint and the cord that has been created because of their sexual tie is done. They ain't got no hold over you no more, period. Okay? Done. Finito. The end. He said. Okay. All right. Well, that is it. You're free in that sense. You got one thing to cross off your list, and I'm just listening, y'all, to see if there's anything else from Source. That's it. Beautiful. All right, y'all. Drink water. Your water. Water helps move energy. Water is a conductor. So it will help you move these energies in your body if you can. Walk, stretch, dance. It will help you process these energies and the changes that you just experienced. If you want, you can take a nap. That too will assist your spiritual team in doing the work in the quantum to continue this, because you have, ooh, wow. Y'all, yeah, so apparently my ex-fiance, there was a little energy there that needed to be kicked out in love and light, y'all, clearly, because she kept coming around in the dream space, and I was wondering why. But you help me, I help you. We here, boo. We freeze in this sense. We freeze. So, oh, that felt good. As always, y'all, I don't take this for granted. I'm grateful for you wherever, whenever you are. Please take care of yourself deeply. Deep, 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 deep. Self-care. I love you. Wait, I didn't share. It's okay. Another episode. I love you. Peace.